The best part of waking up is a bard subclass in your cup. Okay, that aside, Brian here. Let's talk about that. What, in your opinion, is the best bard subclass in D&D 5th edition? In 5th edition, bards have several subclasses to choose from, each offering unique abilities and playstyles. Here are the main subclasses, and there are a few others from the newer books, and a brief summary of their features. College of Lore. This subclass focuses on increasing the bard's versatility, knowledge, and support abilities. It offers additional skill proficiencies, the ability to learn more spells from any class, and cutting words that allow them to subtract from an enemy's attack roll or ability check. College of Valor. This subclass emphasizes combat ability and offers features to enhance the bard's martial prowess. It grants proficiency with medium armor, shields, and martial weapons, and the ability to make an additional attack as a bonus action. College of Glamour. This subclass is all about the charm, deception, and social manipulation. It offers features that can charm and manipulate crowds, the ability to grant temporary hit points to allies, and a powerful ability to grant allies additional actions. The College of Whispers. Now, this subclass is focused on deception and infiltration, allowing bards to manipulate their target's fears and secrets. It offers the ability to deal additional damage to targets with a vulnerability, the ability to gain information from their targets, and the ability to replace a slain humanoid with a duplicate. The College of Swords. This subclass is similar to the College of Valor, but with a focus on finesse weapons and defensive abilities. It grants proficiency with medium armor, the ability to use a weapon as a spellcasting focus, and the ability to parry attacks with their weapon. Ultimately, the best bard subclass in 5th edition depends on your own personal preferences and playstyle. Consider what kind of abilities and playstyle you enjoy, and choose the subclass that best fits those preferences. Well, best is subjective and really depends on what you as a player finds fun. All of them will add something different. Here's a few lesser-known tidbits, though. College of Whisper bards can do more smite damage over a day with 2 short rests and way more by getting a 3rd with a catnap, 3rd level bard spell. And while it can only work once per turn, Psychic Blades works with any weapon attack, melee, thrown, or ranged. Yep, ranged. Get expertise in stealth and a high dex. You give up your bardic inspirations to do so, but a paladin gives up all its spell slots, and the only way it competes is in a battle where it hasn't already used a lot of spell slots, so can do 2 or even 3 or 4 bonus action and opportunity attack per turn. But that only works for a handful of turns, while your bard just needs a short rest and still has all of its spell slots. And at 14th level, it gets an 8-hour charm that isn't magic and gets only its initial save. A College of Creation bard instead enhances its bardic inspirations, which is a very useful option, and you can make it a signature item for your bard, which is fun. You only get it for 1 hour once per day for free, but it's worth using 3rd level slots to get new ones. And perhaps most importantly, a creation bard can pull off a very cool trick at 14th level. You can use your creative crescendo to make non-magical items of worth. While that doesn't seem like a very powerful ability because the items disappear in several hours, and in a D&D world, nobody is going to trust or buy items without you sticking around to ensure they are the real McCoy, what makes it truly valuable is that you can use the created items to fill in for costly spell components. Yeah, most of your costly spell components are for rarely used spells, or you need it permanently, i.e. it's not consumed. But there is a combination that is extremely powerful but generally too costly to use for most characters over time. Regular bard spells really aren't going to be that great for this, so you'll need your magical secrets. But with that, you can get Magic Circle and Conjure Elemental. Then take Planar Binding, which is a bard spell. Now you can make the components for Planar Binding, 1000 GP jewelry per cast. By this time, you have 2 5th level for Conjure Elemental, 1 6th level, and 1 7th level slot. Which means, on a down day, you can capture your choice of elementals and keep them without concentration for 10 days and 30 days. Now you can, at no cost, create a small army of elementals, and unlike Fays or Fiends, which have good charisma saves, elementals have a -1 water to -3 earth, air, and fire are -2 saves. Assuming you have 20 charisma, your spell DC is 18 at this point, meaning an earth elemental automatically fails its save. And with a magic item to enhance your DC, and there's a few out there that do, you can get your choice at no risk. Even a 5% for Sur or Fire is pretty low risk. Imagine having 20 elementals with you on your adventures. Oh, it's crazy powerful. The others are good, just not quite as powerful as these two options. Granted, the creation bar doesn't really shine till 14th level. Then look out, DM! The best bard subclass in D&D 5th edition is the College of Lore. This subclass provides a wide range of additional spells from any class, which allows bards to have even more versatility in their spell casting. The subclass also grants additional proficiency in skills, expertise in selected skills, and cutting words ability, which can reduce the accuracy of enemy attacks. Additionally, the additional magical secrets feature at level 6 allows bards to learn spells from any class, giving them even more options for spellcasting. Overall, the College of Lore subclass provides bards with great flexibility, making them valuable members of any adventuring party. I don't have an opinion about this. All the bard subclasses, like all the subclasses of every class, were intended to be equally viable. Which is best for you might depend on what your playstyle is like, what your character concept is, and what challenges you're facing in the game. The Lore Bard is the basic bard subclass, which is in the SRD. This is a bard who knows a bit about everything. They get extra skill, proficiencies, and extra spells. The Valor Bard is the bard who rallies troops into battle, like a Norse Skald or a battlefield drummer, piper, or bugler. They get extra weapons and extra armor proficiencies. The Glamour Bard is a Fey-touched bard who can transfix people with their performance better than other bards. The Swords Bard is a dancer with a sword who can make amazing feats in combat. The Whispers Bard is the scariest bard who can put fear into other people. The Creation Bard can use their performance to create objects or animate objects. And the Eloquence Bard is a bard who focuses on speech rather than music. Their words have extra power to influence others for good or ill. I'm not long finished creating my first bard, so this is a question I was asking myself rather recently. My initial idea was to play the effervescent flamboyant womanizer, always ready to provide comic relief, or a song for coin. Now, there's obviously nothing wrong with this, it's classic for a reason, and I love Scanlan Shorthalt as much as anyone. But when rereading the PHB description of the bard, I felt like I was missing the mark. A bard is a master of music and poetry, of literature and lore. They are a student of the arcane and of history, of nature and religion. They are a lover of the world and its peoples, of their languages and their stories and their lives. A true bard is obsessed with beauty and truth, justice and mercy. Their education is unparalleled, and the unbridled depth and breadth of their passion is the source of their remarkably powerful magic. Not only do they excel in gymnastics of the mind and heart, but of body as well, as they train in the martial arts. They shoot and duel, proficient with crossbow and sword, and don armor. They are as much warriors driven by their lust for adventure as they are magicians compelled by the insatiable curiosity within. To me, I think of the bard as having the D&D equivalent of the classic Greek education, someone who has far more in common with Plato or Socrates, I know it's Socrates, but come on, you got the joke, than a troupe of actors. And perhaps, most important of all, they are an inspiration to others. Now, I think the greatness of a true bard is so brilliant that it is infectious. I don't think anyone could be in the presence of a true bard, no matter how hard they resist, without feeling greater themselves. Or, in the words of Shakespeare, I am not only witty in myself, but the cause that wit is in other men. And if it isn't obvious by now, my philosopher bard is from the College of Lore, proficient in athletics, arcana, history, investigation, nature, religion, insight, and performance. Who needs persuasion when you have truth and beauty on your side? For these virtues are surely in no need of a humble bard to speak on their behalf. Lol. Anyway, hope it helps or at least gives someone some food for thought. Each Bard subclass has its niche, and can be powerful in its own ways, as other answers have mentioned. But if you just want my favorite, I'm honestly pretty partial to the Swords Bard. I know, it's a Gish subclass, blah blah blah, but the flavor of it is really cool, and it synergizes amazingly well with a Hexblade Warlock dip. I really enjoy the College of Lore because I love spellcasting. I love characters that enjoy going to libraries, discussing lost knowledge with scholars and such. Otherwise, I don't feel there's a best of anything. It's all about what your jam is. Personally, I just play a Wizard or Warlock. They aren't the best either, but they're what I really enjoy. Bards are generally designed to be support casters, so the best Bard class is the one that gives Bards more support and utility on top of their build. First class subclass, Eloquence. You are the PC for talking to others, which most Bards are already made and meant for anyway. You're pretty much guaranteed to always succeed a little on Persuasion and Deception when combining expertise with rolling no lower than a 10. Meanwhile, you can anti-inspire your foes and give your fellow PCs inspiration that they can immediately declare to use for any low roll because they can't lose it on a failure anyway. Eloquence before Lore, always. They have the same anti-inspiration, but Eloquence also has more on top of it. Good options, but not the number one, are my runner-up, and it was close, is Glamour. Its features allow the party to retreat or take positions, and any experienced DM knows how unlikely or difficult it is for players to actually retreat even if they know they have to. They just don't, and see if they TPK or prevail somehow instead of one PC giving the sign for a unified retreat. Glamour is that sign, or allows for the party to redistribute themselves better, and spamming command is still good at higher levels. As long as the enemy fails their save, you can take someone out for 2 turns by making them dash out of combat and forcing them to dash back in again, because many stat blocks simply don't have a ranged attack. The College of Creation is a good support build, getting better inspiration and the option to create just anything that the party can use for one of many different events. Ask the DM if this includes items that consist of several items, like a thieves' toolkit, but this is a very good utility even without that. College of Swords has one clear purpose. You have a knife and you want to use it. Flavor only, not really optimized. People still choose it, but it's not the best subclass by design. It's the subclass for someone who wants to duel and cast more spells than a swashbuckler gets. Better Blade Bard than Valor, as Valor is broader but less optimized and less about the Bard themselves. Options that I don't consider to even be good. College of Spirits. While it gets more features than the others, none of it is really amazing. If you want guidance and more healing, be a Life Cleric instead. And a randomized special inspiration may just end up being not what you need at the moment more often than it will be the perfect resolution. I'd rather have one good feature than a whole pile of junk. Whispers is a bit more damage and the ability to commit identity theft. Jesus Christ. It has some interesting features, although I'm not certain how often they will truly come into play. The Frighten effect is situational and not useful for combat with its 1-minute casting time, but the psychic damage you can deal in combat works with ranged weapons and works just fine. Unfortunately, the Bard's requirement to get a good second stat for hitting enemies in order to use it instead of casting spells or cantrips lowers this for me. Mantle of Whispers has something that few to no other classes can give you though, but in the end, disguises are something the party rarely uses because it splits the party and puts all the focus of a scene with one player while the rest twiddle their thumbs. Thus, this subclass is just a bit too situational to consider it good. Lore, as described above. It just has a better option for what it does nowadays unless you want more proficiencies, and that's it. Valor. Again, as described as above. While it's not terrible, it's just kinda meh, and thus inferior to Swords. The 1d6 die is the one that needs more AC, not the other PCs designed for melee. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA back at it again, checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, let us know, what do you think is the best Bard subclass in D&D 5th edition? Personally, if I'm playing a Bard, it's going to be something based around the Greek philosophy style. It's going to be dashing, sweet, innocent, but also inspirational, something magnificent, something that truly strives to be a better man. Anyway, I love you all. Please be safe, be happy, be healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.